Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So currently the market is pumping. I am recording this slightly ahead of time, but if we go check out QNT, we are sitting at about roughly $103. We hit about $100 and almost $6. I do expect some continuation of this move, most likely into the weekend. We will most likely test this, resistance zone at around like almost $115. I'm really kind of waiting to see if we do retest about $150 up here, which would be a demand zone going all the way back as far as even August 2021. And then I do expect, and I know that this is going to hurt a lot of individuals' feelings out there, but we will most likely retest like a low support zone. Now that of course could be like, this $80 range, or it could even be as low as like $50. Now, if we do continue to break over $150 and even break $200, then yes, that is out of the question. But that is like my last major, buy zone, aka my last major buy in general for, QNT, until of course the inevitable future. Now, a lot of people will most likely say like, I thought that you think that like this is gonna go here or there. Why would that be your last buy? It's just my last buy until we run up. Again, do I think that we are still very early on QNT? 100%. But I'm actually waiting for us to have that nice little run up in this market. Possibly have a nice little bear market rally. Who knows how high we go? But I will continue to accumulate QNT under $100. I do have an end goal in mind on how many QNT I really kind of want. I will also continue to accumulate this under $1,000 once we get to that point where we are just ranging above $100 in terms of a support zone. But at this current moment in time, we still have a lot of downside left in this market, or possible downside left in this market, I should say, because we still are very well in a bear market. Now, in terms of QNT, we are surpassing some nice milestones. We just hit, it was just like the other day where we hit 60,000 holders, and already 6 days later, we added already almost 1,000 official new holders to QNT, which is great to see. Incredible growth. And also today we seen an announcement from Oracle, I should say. They tweeted out talking more so about using digital currencies to unlock a continent. Our work with Quant Network on blockchain technology is helping drive financial inclusion and digitization in Latin America. And the funny thing about this, right, is that we've heard this story multiple times, but it's the idea that we still are seeing these other companies do the marketing for Quant, which I think is pretty special, and I think that's interesting, right? Because a lot of these other companies, or I should say projects within the space, rely on their own marketability. But having an asset where you see names like Oracle already doing like the marketing for you, which by the way, Oracle on Twitter has almost 1 million followers. And they're tweeting about your project and talking about how it is leading the race in terms of helping drive financial inclusion and digitization in general for an entire continent. Like, that is huge. And it also proves to you where Quant is positioned going forward. I think that this is probably one of the most special crypto assets in this market that a lot of people just kind of overlook because of their own agenda or their own opinions on the project itself. And also talking a little bit more about Quant, and I do apologize for these, loading up. But we do see, little fact I didn't know, Oracle has, already hundreds of Oracle blockchain platform enterprise customers in quite a short time frame. And we do see down here, not sure our hundreds of Oracle blockchain platform customers would agree. If you're still in the talking or advising phase, you are 2 to 3 years behind, at least in enterprise blockchain applications. I'll take a pass on the crypto NFT mania to own a JPEG. And this is from Chief Architect at Oracle Blockchain Platform. And of course, down here, Chief of Oracle Blockchain regarding interoperability for OBP. This is where Oracle or Overledger comes into play with Oracle. Listen closely to this.
Yeah, that's where Overledger comes in. So Overledger, as I say, provides a solution that allows you to be able to integrate different blockchain networks, and they support our Fabric instances. So that's the extent of it, I guess. Yeah,
And of course, like this is very large when you actually look at it because it's all centered around like the enterprise grade area. Oracle is a massive giant, as you guys are probably all aware by now, as we have been talking about, Oracle since like around like November. Demand for Overledger is skyrocketing according to Gilbert as well. We do see up here, Oracle blockchain is now interoperable. Since the announcement, our team have, been busy dealing with incoming requests and inquiries from Oracle's clients. And of course, over here, we do see, Overledger solution for Quant networks available for OBP and deployed in OCI middleware that enables developers to write clients that interoperate across OBP, Corda, Quorum, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin, Stellar, IOTA, EOS. Like these are like the main, blockchain networks, by the way. And of course, they do talk about like dual DLT, cross DLT, linking B2B transactions and stuff like that, all around DLT alone. Like, remember what I have been saying on this channel for a very long time? DLT is the future in terms of like technology around like distributed ledgers in general. Like ledgers are going to play a pivotal role within many industries, talking even more so about like CBDC issuance or even any sort of stablecoin issuance around like government entities or even like commercial grade entities. This is what we want to see. And down here we do see there are some big customers utilizing Oracle blockchain platform that is public. Volvo, Mercedes-Benz, Polestar, Decathlon, or Decathlon. I honestly never heard of that name, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. I probably am. ABOT, and then KPMG, which KPMG, we've seen the connections with Quant in the past, actually. We've talked about that. I'm actually very interested to see what actually comes of that because, we've seen, KPMG already on Quant's website. And apparently hundreds of more. And we actually do see down here like many of the largest, EV, manufacturers, including Volvo, etc., are already built on the Oracle's blockchain. And then, of course, over here, we do see examples of production apps on Oracle blockchain platform. We do see like all of the major names here. I'm sure that you guys can definitely look into this and really kind of see just like the scope of this. They're talking more so about like cross-border funds, non-performing loans marketplace, eKYC solutions for bank customers. Like this is all centered around like the major money. We also do see like consumer-driven healthcare providers and payers, ecosystem. Like this is something special when you actually look at the scope of it. And of course down here, and we do see a little bit more of a video insight as well from
Working on some
Oracle. 1 second, let me start that over. Oracle is stating to working on some projects in this area, CBDCs, working with partners, which we all know is Q&T, and listen closely.
Different implementations, right? So we are working on some projects in this area, and we have been working with some partners to implement a solution, of course, using tokens to represent the actual currency.
And of course, tokens to represent actual currency. I think that this is actually pretty large. Again, like around CBDCs, we really kind of look at like issuance, we look at like interoperability, connectivity. And the funny thing about like, even CBDCs is you also have the opportunity to have stablecoin issuance. Stablecoins around commercial grade, projects. We've actually seen Quant talk more so about Volvo, which is interesting, right? They talked about them having a stablecoin issuance on their website, and if you guys missed that, we could actually go real quick over to Quant Network while that loads. We could scroll down here in 1 second and really kind of talk more so about the scope of here. And of course, many huge trade finance networks are already linked to Q&T, master thread below, and here you guys have it. Why beg one client if you, can beg the middleman with direct access to hundreds? Interoperability is a team sport, and yes, this is what we talk about. Like, we don't talk about just connecting to like, multiple clients. We talk about connecting to one client that has domino effects into massive amounts of other clients, which could be hundreds. Now, I do want to share with you guys real quick what I was talking about over here. It was more so about commercial stablecoins. Now, this is where things get very interesting around this space because remember the connections over here to like, Volvo, Mercedes-Benz and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was Volvo that they were mentioning here. So let's actually look into this. So I think it might have been down here where they were really kind of talking about it and addressing it fully. So yeah, there is also momentum growing amongst enterprises. Volvo, for an example, is using its trading tokens to function as e-money to facilitate payment for logistics and business services between participants in its ecosystem. This is why those commercial, grade stablecoins are actually pretty important, because they are utilized more so around like private enterprises to not only allow for a lot more flow of business, but it also allows for less friction between like internal, transactions, which again account for very large amounts of transactions and volume or value of transactions as well. And going back over here, listen to what it was down here actually, and listen to what they were saying here in this video from, again, Oracle. It actually plays right into that use case. Listen closely again.
Different implementations, right? So we are working on some projects in this area, and we have been working with some partners to implement a solution, of course, using tokens to represent the actual currency.
Tokens to represent actual currency. And again, like when we talk about Oracle, I'm sure that you guys can see this. Like they do break down like everything around this in terms of like transaction flows, CBDCs in general. But why I bring this up is because like when we talk about, Oracle, they are most likely talking about partners, including, Quant, but more so partners already, working on Oracle or already have projects utilizing it, like Volvo, Mercedes-Benz, etc. And Volvo being one of them kind of takes me right back over here to really kind of address this, because again, like this would be essentially e-money that would be, if you will, issued on DLTs or a private DLT, if you will, or a private ledger, which will play right into, again, like Quant still having the interconnectivity bridge between it. And of course, they do mention like Terra Luna here and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And of course, over here, we do see here the solutions Quant Network provides are for, financial institutions and enterprises, but we couldn't do it without developers. That's why we want to empower those who don't have specialists, blockchain knowledge to be part of the, future of finance today. And of course, this is talking about 27 million developers to become certified blockchain experts. Again, like this is their first, series of online courses with King's College London to help them like really kind of work within the DLT space and crypto space. And the funny thing about this is that I want you guys to understand that, do you honestly think that we have this many developers within crypto just to kind of, create these NFT play to earn games or these decentralized exchanges that are just the typical use cases? Absolutely not. These are going to be the developers that are building out the new financial system. These are going to be the individuals behind things that make, finance and many other industries, including like healthcare or even like the EV market, for example, move frictionless. More so have business flows, that are revolutionized and ultimately extremely more efficient. This is why I always pay attention to things like this in terms of like the numbers of developers that will be needed. Remember, like Quant is actually fallen behind a little bit with the demand of Overledger because of the substantial amounts of the companies that want to utilize this technology, because they also do see the value behind it. And as we do really kind of look into like even regulations coming to the space, like that's going to be the key that truly unlocks the door for mass adoption of these networks. But we need to make sure that we have, the developers behind the scenes really kind of, taking control of the network and building out, solutions that, could handle that demand. So I think that when we really kind of look at the numbers behind Quant, I think that we will see a lot more hiring happening on a lot of these networks, including Quant. And I think that empowering 27 million developers and also even empowering like, future generations to understand and learn this technology is crucial for the future of not only this space, but also like the future of many industries and markets around the world that will need to be impacted by this technology to continue to not only scale, but also be utilized efficiently. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.